I see the leaders of the land are in unison and they're saying that this Confederate flag must go. But I ask myself the question, is the Confederate flag the problem or what? And I hope that without calling names, we could look at this thing very unpassionately. Now, um, as I said, this flag is innocent. This flag did not tell this brother to go and shoot up that church, but it's a training he has had, whether in the community he grew up in, imperceptibly, or whether intentionally parents have brought him to this place where he's at. When it's parents, anyone who has influenced him, significant others, preachers, politicians, whoever, neighbors, whatever. And I think that it's the way he was brought up, because there are blacks who grew up with that flag also, and they don't go and shoot up white churches. So again, it's not the flag. We all are, I'm sure, agree on this. So I'm not sure it was the big, hurrah, but getting rid of the flag, because you'll get rid of the flag. If you had gotten rid of it 5 years ago, this brother might have still done the same thing. He might have had a personal flag, but he might not have even had a flag. But just as I said, the culture that he has. Now, I was teaching not so long ago, almost over a year ago, and I had dealt with some issues that I felt were informing. And for example, I would say that basically we should get along in principle. Man, they got me out of there so fast. Right here in California, in Union City, they got me out of town, and they also put a note into my into the headquarters in Sacramento, so I can't get my renewal permit to teach. And so there's the problem. And I'm sure that some of these people who are clamoring, get rid of the flag, they of themselves have insinuated or suggested this same type of behavior. I mean, this is white people time, and I don't see any let up. The future does not hold for any other change, any revolution as such. Not in India and China going to encroach in these white folks' power. So why is this brother behaving this way? You see, perhaps he feels as if, or it looks as if he has no life. And there are black folks who drive in Mercedes Benz and have homes and so on, and he must just doesn't have nothing. So that's a problem for him, being a member of the white community that's supposed to be powerful with the nukes and the militaries and the whole 9 yards of jets and so on, and the space flight and all that could combine to maintain a white supremacy in the world. He doesn't have nothing. And those whites who are saying get rid of the flag, they have a lot. They have a good job, good savings, good pension coming up, and so on, and they don't feel as threatened as such. But if there's a big threat, all these white folks can coalesce again and say, "Hey, we got to take back this power." You know what I mean? I'm not sure if this flag removal is the issue. The issue is that we have to train our children that this is the past, and sometimes go back and show black people's past, where black people rule the world. Okay. And this is white people time. So black people had their time. This is white people time. Black people might have done similar things to what white folks are doing. So what's the problem with white folks doing it back now? Well, there's a big difference. Those civilizations ended. Africa, better known as Egypt, disappeared or became insignificant. And I mean, can you imagine the first civilized nation that has brought culture and a whole bunch of learning to Europe and to the world is living in such substandard condition? Every now and then they're hungry, they ain't got no food, no water, no nothing, poor like hell. And simply because they probably had done just what the white folks are doing today. So if time were to last long enough, white folks would end up just how Africa is, because when you abuse power, that is how you end up. So why white should do things differently? Well, because we love them and we want them to really let this country continue to grow and be good. And so if they keep up this thing, it's going to collapse, because God is the one who gives power out, and he's the one who monitors things. So they might come with a story that, well, he was provoked, or he has mental problems, whatever, but God knows exactly the whole deal, and he's the one who takes away powers from nations. Because can you imagine Egypt losing? Well, we have it in the scripture what happened. God went in there and he did them plagues, he drowned them in the Red Sea, did them all kinds of stuff to get rid of them. And so, in spite of all these nuke and all these big military these white folks have, if they overdo it and God ready to get rid of them, he could do it in a flash. So, why white should do things different is because if you really, really want to, continue enjoying this thing, you got to be just and look for the best in every race, promote the best, and don't promote just races because of race and so forth. Get the best to come on and continue to help the country to grow.